Paul George. 10 points, 4-16. Series-ending loss in Utah 2019, 3 of 14. Season-ending loss at Utah 2018, 2 for 16. Season-ending loss, elimination game against Cleveland, 5 of 21.
Yep, always.
Wow.
What do I call him? Help me out. What do I always call him?
Ooh.
George Paul. Don't I call him that?
Well, he
turns into George Paul.
Jamal Murray outscored Kawhi, PG, and Lou Will 40-31. There's no other way. Doc Rivers, gag, Kawhi, Paul George, and the Clippers.
Gag, said Shannon Sharp.
Hold on.
Yep.
Who's lost more 3-1 leads?
Doc.
Okay, then. Who has more Game 7 losses than any other coach in NBA history?
Who has the second most Game 7 wins in NBA history to Red Auerbach?
Whoa.
Doc.
Whoa. Second most.
Yep.
Who has the most L's? The most L's.
6 and 8.
Skip.
Yep.
The man has blown 3-1 deficit. You remember in Orlando, Skip?
I do.
Had Tracy McGrady. Tracy McGrady said it's going to be so great to go to the second round. Up 3-1. Boom.
Yep.
Skip Bayless, this is the ultimate choke job, and I want to see you wiggle this one. But somehow, I want to see you wiggle way out of this. So go ahead.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
You better put your seatbelt on because I'm about to just destroy most of what you just said.
You can't, because they're not going to the playoffs. You can't. They're going no further. You can't destroy anything.
Just for the record, the all-time greatest choke job we have ever seen in the history of this sport happened to your man, LeBron James, in the 2011 finals.
Say it again.
He was up 2-1.
Say it again with your chest out.
And he made a list, according to my friend Stephen A. Smith. He reported that LeBron went back to the hotel in Dallas, Texas, and made a list of I told you so's, and I was at the top of the list. First I'm going to tell so is Skip Bayless.
Okay.
And then what happened? He melted down the way we've never seen any superstar in the history of the NBA melt down, in games 4, 5, and 6. He disappeared, and he had just joined forces with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh because they were going to dominate the Dallas Mavericks and win LeBron his first ring, and it did not happen because of LeBron James, who was widely acknowledged as the best player on the planet by then, for sure. Okay? So nobody ever said that Kawhi Leonard was the best player on the planet. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, they have. Yes, they have.
Have I ever said that?
Charles Barkley has said it. All those guys on ESPN, from Jalen Rose, all of them have said it. Don't do that, Skip. Don't try to do it because he choked now.
All I've ever heard is he's the best two-way player because for a while he was the best defensive player. And he did win a Defensive Player of the Year.
He won 2 of them.
Okay, well, what I'm saying is once he broke through and won the first one, then people started saying, wait a second, he can score and he can really defend, so he's the best two-way player because at that point in LeBron's career, he was starting not to focus on the defensive end of the floor. So best two-way player, but I don't know anybody who really said, he's the greatest player on the planet.
Internet, do your thing. I need you to get those quotes, put them in my inbox, and we'll try to get them up some point during the show. Go ahead, Skip.
I never said that. Okay, now back to the larger point here. I have been covering the National Basketball Association for the longest time. I started with Kareem's Lakers here in L.A. in 1976. So it's a long time. I've seen a lot of playoff basketball in my day. In all my time, I have never seen a team collapse the way the Clippers collapsed. I've seen lots of back-and-forth seesaw battles where the underdog finally wound up winning Game 7 and shocking the prohibitive favorite. But those games go back and forth, where they take turns blowing each other out and embarrassing each other. Did the Clippers ever get blown out by the Nuggets from wire to wire? No. Did the Nuggets ever come out and just take over a game and you said, man, tonight was just the Nuggets' night? No, it didn't happen. The odds makers kept saying Clippers. They indicted the Clippers because they kept saying, you are clearly better than the other team because for the first 6 games, they were 8.5-point favorites. Last night, they were 7.5.
7.5.
So the point is, Las Vegas is saying, you are clearly better than the other team. And in each of the closeout games, obviously games 5, 6, and 7, they showed you for stretches, really long stretches of the game, they were the superior basketball team because they led the first game 5 last Friday night. They were up by 19. Game 6, they were up by 16. And last night, with 4 minutes left in the first half, they were up by 12. So they kept showing you, we're this good, and we're this good. And then what happened? They utterly got devastated and blown off the floor by a team that psychologically owned them in all the moments that mattered. The Denver Nuggets snatched their heart, and then they snatched their soul.
But, Skip, you told me they were the most mentally toughest team. That's why they were going to beat the Lakers.
I agree that it wasn't just me. I heard it from all the analysts.
Who said it? Who said it?
Everybody, starting with our Chris Broussard, who's going to join us. He was the first to say on the show, the Clippers just got too many dogs. And we're talking about mentally tough dogs.
Yes.
And for 3 straight fourth quarters, they turned into nothing but choking dogs.
Yes.
They turned back into the sorry, laughingstock, belong in the basement Clippers.
Yes.
That everybody in L.A. ridicules and laughs at. And last night, they were even worse than the old worst Clippers.
Even you returned them to the basement. You told them to go back to the basement.
Go back to the basement where you belong. Because all year long, they were often the favorite to win the whole championship.
Yes.
Going into the bubble, I think they were co-favorites with the Lakers to win it all. So it's not like they were sort of a mid-rung. No, they were the favorite.
Right.
Okay, so now, what do I believe happened here? Well, here's what Kawhi Leonard did for the 7 games, just to refute your point. He led this team in scoring. He led this team in rebounding. He led this team in assists. Is that good?
Yeah.
He led this team in steals. And he led this team in block shots. That's for 7 games. He put up numbers that even LeBron doesn't usually put up because he went all the way across the stat line and led his team in every category.
Yes.
And he shot 36% from 3 for the 7 games, which for his standards, he's not a great three-point shooter. Not bad. He shot 87% for the 7 games from the free throw line, which would shame LeBron James. In his wildest dreams, he couldn't shoot 87% for a series. Okay, so what did I tell you all year? I told you again and again, and you made one good point. When Kawhi was a Spur, he was the 4th wheel. He wasn't even the 2nd wheel or the 3rd. He was the 4th wheel. And how he won the MVP of that 2014 finals when my team blew LeBron and company off the floor in 5 games, I don't know, because you could have flipped a coin and you could have come up with any of the 4 stars in San Antonio, but they chose him for, I guess, because of the defense that he played on LeBron. But to your point, LeBron still put up numbers just in games. It would be 2, 3, 4, and 5. He did pretty well on LeBron, and LeBron was pretty quiet, especially in the 2 games in Miami, which were games 3 and 4. Okay, so the point was he goes to Toronto, to your point, nobody expected much. They have a really good team because Siakam played much better last year as the the 2nd star. And obviously, Kyle Lowry and Van Vliet, you talk about dogs, mentally tough dogs. Okay, so the point was, yeah, he won